truly in the belief that whoever finds the perfect way, here we go, the game's beginning, to filter those mixed patches will have an advantage in the long run, but nobody's yet to find that out. So darkenade on north, Ness on the south, 18 versus 18. The first game of today has started and we're playing on hard mode, guys. Again, as each game starts, we have nothing automated at all. So we're hand feeding everything, we're slapping down a load of stone furnaces, we're slapping down a load of miners, and we need to just chuck a load of coal in to start our journey off. Later on down the line, we will have automated bits and pieces, but at the beginning of the game, what we'd love to see and what we will see is hopefully two very different ideas as to how each game will play out. So each team and captain will have a philosophy. The thing that makes these games the most fun is that the captain in charge of each team will have like a plan, like a grand plan. At least when I was captaining, I would spend like at least 5 of the 7 days during the week thinking about who I want to pick, and if I get those players, what will I need them to do for me? So this isn't just a random game. Like, we're at the end of a tournament. Every single person in here that's been picked to do a role has been purposefully selected or tried to be sniped. So, Ness will want some of these players but didn't manage to get them. So you have to kind of cobble together a team of people, and they'll have a plan in play to win the game, and we're about to see 2 very different ideas clash effectively and go head to head. We can already see some people moving north towards the bugs, as well as a couple of people moving south. And as I say that, what music do you guys want to listen to whilst we do this stream? What music do you think would be good for game number 1? I'll obviously move it around. We did some swing, electro swing last week, which was really cool. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I ever really listened to electro swing. You like what's playing? Yeah, I can I'll keep the jazz on for a bit. I mean, we have 2 games, right? So we have like 3 or 4 hours worth of casting. We'll move it around every like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So, and obviously, if it's too loud, let me know. Somebody mentioned in YouTube that the music was too loud last week, so I've dialed it back a little bit. It's obviously, we try not to make it too loud. I'm not a loud person, so you're not going to hear me shouting and screaming. But I do appreciate that people listen on headphones and they listen on the bus and stuff, and so I don't want to blow anybody's eardrums out with like ridiculous music or sound. So you may hear my cat yowling at me later, or my dog barking, and if that happens, I'll try and mute the mic as fast as possible. But a lot of that's correct. Yeah, they do look like speedruns. I mean, everything happening here is at speed. So thank you, I appreciate that. Somebody the other day said I sound like AI. They were like, no, I'll try not. I mean, he's here. He's staring at me aggressively. I've got a young puppy and an older dog, and the cat is very old. He's about 14 years old now. So he gets very upset when my puppy steals his sleepy spot next to the radiator. There are lots of radiators in the house. They are not struggling for places to stay warm, but he's a cat. He has his spot, and my dog likes to steal it. So yeah. There is a picture of my cat somewhere on here. In fact, I need to upload all that stuff. But do you know what? He just wants some company. It's still quite cold in the UK, so they like to kind of huddle up together. Oh, he's fine. Yeah. So I may, at some point during the stream, I may need to go off and check on him, make sure they've got water and food and stuff. But now, here we go. At the beginning of the game, some of the gun turrets that you get given at the start of the game, which are splattered around our main base area, have been thrown towards the bugs, and this is perfect. Oh, he got booped the other day. It was actually really cute, because my cat's not an aggressive cat, but he was like, get away from me. So he like bopped him on the nose, and it was the funniest thing. My little puppy looked like he oh, he looked so upset. He was like, no, he hit me. He didn't actually get hit, he just got booped. But for him, that was aggression, and that's too much. So darkenade, this is the captain of the north, and they are threat farming. And this is what I was going to explain once we got some of the map revealed to us. So I think that's how you spell his name. Perfect. So we'll follow darkenade at the moment, whilst I explain what he's doing. At the moment, at any point in the map, the bugs can run down the map and attack our base. If they get deep enough, as we spoke about earlier on, they can kill off our rocket silo, and that is game. That will end our game. We don't want that to happen. At the moment, you can see that a couple of gun turrets, and I think he's using the pistol here. I don't think he's using the machine gun. He is effectively grabbing a wave of bugs and blowing those up, farming them effectively. The reason he's doing that is that he's creating a negative number of bugs on the map. When we have a negative number of bugs, i.e. when we go and attack the bugs, and you can see them blowing up like 50 at a time, they need to respawn their numbers. So if you don't do this, if you don't go up to the bugs and fight them and begin to grind their numbers into a negative, they will start flooding into your map. So threat farming is a way of us putting the bug number, think of this as a population. If it's positive, they're aggressive. If it's in a negative, they need to respawn. So at any given time in the map, once a send is thrown, the bugs will become stronger and harder to deal with. So, and we'll see that through time. In fact, we'll see that very soon. Both teams at the moment are getting their research up. They have these really large smelting columns, and effectively all the... Oh, damn. Nobody down... Oh, the South are doing a little threat farming, but effectively what we want to see from these guys is we want to see them driving the number into the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And what I would say, whilst I have a second, I'll grab you the link to my channel on YouTube. So if you can't make either of these games, or you want to watch some older games, I have a YouTube channel where I upload all of the streams. And on top of that, you'll also see me playing in games as well. So you'll be able to kind of witness some threat farming happen in real time. Yeah, and yeah, you're correct, Lightbreeze. Yeah, you kind of farm enemies by killing them, rinsing them and repeating. Yeah, so this is the YouTube channel that I have. It doesn't have I'm not like a content creator. I just upload the streams so that people, basically we have like an Australian player base and a Korean player base and people that tune in from the United States that can't make the games on time. So they like to watch, the stream in their own time. And you'll find on that, in that link, sorry, 1 second. Discord is blowing up. Oh, it's a different Discord. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, I was slightly distracted there. Yeah, in that channel, you'll find games of me playing, games of me captaining, me streaming other tournaments, the 1v1 tournaments we have, everything in between. So if you like weird Factorio channels that are very small, that'll be one for you. If you ever get a chance and you want to watch older stuff. My gameplay is very boring, but it wins. So, yeah. I just hopped in. What players? Ooh, interesting. That's a great question. So if I'm spectating, I would want to, for the South, Zero Sun for threat farming, and for main base building, Jimmy50. Those are the two big names on the South. Those are your driving factors. Jimmy will build up the main base. Obviously, it's not really big at the moment, but this will go very fast. And I would say Zero Sun for threat farming, and then we'll see probably a small outpost off to the edge. In the north, darkenade is the captain, so they're not only doing the threat farming, they're also going to be coordinating, their plan. Carl and Clutch are very strong players, yeah, very historic players as well. They've been here for a while. Developer is somebody to keep an eye on. Normally has some interesting builds. Is very much a support player, but a very strong player. Califabop, also a streamer as well, might be streaming this game actually. Califabop is somebody to keep an eye out on north. And again, darkenade and Fordecker. Actually, if you want to watch somebody play support, Fordecker is your go-to person. Genuine, Fordecker is a ridiculously strong player. I think underrated, but if you ever have a chance to pick them on your team, get them. They are absolute heroes when it comes to just doing the things. Whenever a problem appears, and you're like, oh no, we need more power, they'll already be out there making it. They intercept problems for you at a lightning speed. It's so fun to have them. Yeah, Trixana, you're right. The South seemed to me like they got everything you could possibly want. Now again, Ness is captain. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. So you send science. If you're in the game and you're playing, there's a little panel on the left-hand side here. And that panel allows you the ability to take science from your inventory. So you need to be holding the science. So let's say, for instance, you have a building and you've made 100 red jugs. You'd see that in your inventory, and then you'd click on the little button to the left here, which is like the red jug button, and it will send all of the red jugs you have on you, and you'll have one button for each of the science. So you don't need to send it from your rocket silo. This you just really need to protect at the moment. No, the gambling should be up, I believe, and thank you RJD for doing that. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think the prediction is up. And we've got 2 games on, so you have a chance to win double points. So yeah, guys, I hope I haven't missed any messages there. So yeah, so here's effectively like the TLDR. He's killing bugs and making sure the bugs don't come down here. These guys are building up and researching as fast as possible so they can make the enemy bugs really strong. There's a couple of people out here playing support. Some of them will be making power, some of them will be making science, and some of them will be making defensive items, like grenades for instance, because what we're about to see now is there's going to be a bit of a rush. We're only a couple minutes into the game, but we're not going to see, like, in a normal game of like normal or easy mode, we can see the base really build up and, you know, we'll have like massive amounts of science being created here and big smelting lines. Not today. Today is a scramble. This is a fight, a cage fight. We're in there and we're going to take a lot of damage, and it's going to start very, very soon. The bugs are only 2.9% evolved, however, it's not going to take long, and as we can see here now, the south have stopped threat farming, so they're now in a positive amount of bugs. 50 is nothing, but if that was 500, that would effectively mean 500 bugs on the south side of the map, coming down the map, and attacking everything they see. They will not stop, they do not discriminate. If you have a building here, they will kill it. If you have a belt, they'll bite it. And if they get close enough, deep enough, they'll make it to this area and they'll kill off your silo. So what I love about this game mode is that there are... Ooh, we know what this is, guys. This is military spam. And I posted earlier, like we did a little calculation with our little calculator. If in this current game mode, if I'm on the north and I send 100 military jugs, how much does that change the dial? Damn. That takes you to 20%. Just 100 jugs. So like, yeah, we're going to see some stupid sends. Oh yeah, guys, feel free to gamble. You know, if you believe South are going to win, put your money where your mouth is. That's all. I'm not saying that to obviously gamble responsibly. It's not real money. It's all fake channel points, etc. But yeah, I see a lot of people going, oh yeah, South are definitely going to do it. I say, back it up, man. Because somebody won like last week, somebody bet like 10 to 20,000 channel points. And they doubled, man. They doubled up their channel points. It means nothing, but it's a bit of bragging rights, I guess. But, and I say this every week, you can watch for free. I don't ask for subscription. Like, I appreciate all the follows and subscribes and stuff, but... So at the beginning of the game, you have effectively nothing. we start from caveman mode. Nothing is researched, and... some research is bait. This is one thing I don't speak about often, but like, I hope North wins. They have a strong team. I'm just worried about South. Yeah, so some research is kind of bait. So you don't, in a hard game, we're not going to get to railways. If you do so choose to research railways, and the South don't, say we're on North and we're researching this, this 70 seconds or 100 seconds of researching is a waste of our time. So we want some of these items, but we don't want all of them. And so how we research and what we research is really important, because we could slow ourselves down with the wrong technology. And here we go, the very first send has happened. Pavev, in the opening, 10 minutes? 13 minutes of the game, has sent a huge, another massive throw. In fact, we've been throwing for a while now, a couple minutes, but yeah, the North are already sending a lot of science, and as we can see, the South are at 21%. Guys, this will not be a long game. 23% now. So the bugs have gone from being really, really easy to kill to now they can soak up a grenade or two. And I love these hard games, man. You don't get to quickly play it as you like. And here we go. A wave of bugs has managed to make its way down. And again, these haven't evolved yet. There are different stages of evolution. As brown-shelled bugs, these are all very small. However, that's a bit too close to the main silo, right? That's way too close. And over time, as I said before, the bugs will kind of make their way down and around. Do I have my drawing tools? Like this I don't. That's weird. Okay, let's I can't use my drawing tools right now. Oh, I can. Hey, let's go. Let's clear that up. Let's put my arrows on. And as I said before, guys, they don't just come down one way. They're going to come around and around, and they're going to hit you from all sides. So the idea now, definitely if you're on South, is to get ready for some defense. You know, yes, this is a building game. Yes, it's all about factories. But if you want your factory to live long enough, it's an interesting one. They have a priority. Here we go. So this is the next evolution of bugs. I'll get to that question because it's a great one, Shloopsy. I did, mate. I got paint working. I'm so happy. It's still a little buggy, no pun intended, but it's working. So the brown bugs are the first stage of evolution, and the pink shells are stage 2. These are medium-sized bugs. And as you can see now, the waves are starting to build up for the south. So yeah, we're at 2,300 threat. These gun turrets are basically useless at 14 minutes into the game. And you can see now these guys are just melting buildings down. So it starts with this, right? With another wave behind it and another wave here. And if you're not hot on your threat farming and you're not quick on this, ultimately this could be a quick loss. Quick loss. So yeah, as we see now, another wave has managed to make it past the defensive net, and it's slowly moving towards this outpost. Now again, these guys are all good players. I'm not expecting them to get this wrong at all, but you don't want to be dealing with this problem at 15 minutes into a game. You know, this is not the kind of issue you want to be solving or problem. Now again, these guys know what to do. They have grenades, they'll have bullets, they'll have solutions to this. I hope. I really hope. Because if they don't, like the bugs, and back to your question, Schlipsy, the aggro is a mixture. They absolutely want to kill the silo, but they will aggress onto players and military buildings as well. So like if they see a military building or if they see a player, they'll go for them. Again, the silo I think is weighted as a military building, so they'll always come for this, but they won't ignore you. So if they see you in the way, they'll go for you too. This really is not going to be a long game, guys. I'm going to try and keep up with both north and south, but it appears to me like darkenade. Some of the tech. Yes, darkenade. Happy to see this. I spoke last week about things we haven't seen in a while. It looks like such a simple play, but this brick pattern that you can create, and it doesn't have to be a circle, it could be a square. This little brick pattern speeds you up. Oh no! A wave has managed to make it on top of the military spam. Now, if the south can get this off and keep it alive, this military spam will be deadly for the south, but at the moment we are fighting fires and it is only 15 odd minutes into the game. Waves build up on the south. No, it's just normal concrete. Just normal, bricks. Just normal bricks. And what that allows you to do is it increases your run speed. So what darkenade's doing here at the moment is they're running into the bugs area and grabbing a set of bugs, and then they're tornadoing, they're looping themselves around into tighter and tighter circles. And then by the time they get to the very middle of the circle, here, they'll throw a grenade at their feet, effectively making the most out of a single grenade, making it this a really good economic play to make for your weapons and weaponry. We don't see that right now, because I do believe that they don't need to do a huge amount. In terms of threat farming, they just need to keep constantly farming down. The south, meanwhile, are dealing with large amounts of waves flooding in now. This is a lot. This is a lot. Yes, and you can pick it up and remove it too, so it's a great little tool. I say nobody uses it. It's been a while since I've seen somebody genuinely use their concrete and their brick, but you want to basically get away from these guys. After they hit mediums, once they hit big, they become so fast they catch you up. And if you don't have a car to make the most out of your tech, then you want to be running as fast as you possibly can. So it looks like what darkenade is doing is he's feeding some mags into these gun turrets, grabbing some aggression up here, and then just looping them round in front of this like kill zone, which is a really nice play. You know, these gun turrets do not last long. Prox goes down on the north, however, and we are seeing now they're at 26% to the 44 on the south. Oh my god. The south are managing to stabilize though. Okay, there's definitely some destruction here, but like whoever's been doing some threat farming down here has absolutely put a shift in, because look at what these waves are now, guys. Oh, Murray, welcome. Hey, I love to see it. Welcome in, firstly. I hope you're having a good weekend. What a great game to tune in from. This is a ridiculously fast game. Normally, it takes a little while for things to get into motion, but as it currently stands, 21 players on the south, 20 on the north, and everything's on fire. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is a little bit of a weird version of Factorio that most people don't really know about. So I love answering questions and I love showing off this really cool little niche thing that we have here. But we are deep into a tournament where one captain leads their team to victory, or to not lose as fast as the other. The South at the moment are in a world of pain. The bugs have evolved once more. So obviously the brown shelled bugs are the weakest that we have on offer. The next level up are these pink shells, and I believe floating somewhere in the distance here, in the southern area at 51%, there is a blue bug, a big bug. and soon we're going to see waves and waves of them crashing into the base. Now, all the South have to do is keep this rocket silo safe. Yeah, they're so big, dude, and they're only going to get bigger. Now, I love this play. You know, stone furnaces are really, really cheap, and they do block the bugs out. This is like a really effective wall at the beginning of the game that you can use. We obviously would love to have a normal wall structure, but what they're managing to keep alive right now is their own spam. So all the South are trying to do is gear up and keep alive their ability to force the North's number up and up and up. So the South are dealing at 50%, the North at 32%. I can't imagine that they're really struggling. I mean, they're going to have to deal with waves. But I'm going to be honest though, guys, I really thought that the South was stacked. And again, they have a lot of talent. So, you know, they will be able to repel this. These are very strong players. Some of these are still captains in the tournament, you know, fighting for their own survival. But if you lose this on the South, you lose the opportunity to, A, research and push your team deeper into the tech tree. And beyond that, like, you lose your position. These big bugs, guys, holy, we're 20 minutes in. Big bugs are, oh my god, we're 20 minutes into the game. Big bugs, just for reference, these blue-shelled guys, they're faster than you, harder than you. They hit harder than grenades. They absorb most damaging items, and we're so early on into the game, we don't have poison capsules or slowdown capsules researched. Oh no, this is actually frightening, guys. Normally, we'd get to this point in a game around about the 1 hour mark. On an easy difficulty or a normal difficulty, we'd see mediums around about 45 minutes, and we'd see the blue bugs around about an hour mark. Landmines are disabled because they're bugged. So apologies, chat. Normally I'm much better on answering questions. Sorry, guys. This is just a lot faster than I expected it to be, so I'm trying not to miss anything. Yeah, landmines are bugged. They're also a bit crap as well, if I'm being honest. So the way that you deal with these guys, I don't know if you do it right now because you don't have the research for it, but you effectively need slow capsules to stop them from running fast, and poison capsules to create a cloud of gas that they sit in and they slowly burn down on. But guys, there is a wave menacing. Just eyeing up what part of the base do we want to run into right now. This wave isn't the problem, by the way. It's the one behind it and the 5 or 10 behind that. So, you know, the South have to put this fire out. No flamethrowers either. No, they are dealing with basic guns and grenades. And again, the pink shell bugs, like 2 or 3 grenades will kill them, but look at this big guy. He's just eaten 4 grenades, still not even half health. And they don't have their military research, so they don't have their shooting upgrades. Every single person on South now, if they're not involved in this, or not involved in defending main base, has to go and defend. Oh, Jimmy goes down. F in chat, guys. F in chat. You know, press F to pay respects. And the waves keep coming. They keep coming. The North have just managed to, again, not go too big. They've kept everything in the main base. And there's one line of spam, and I believe another out here. So, yeah, they've done really well on third base. I called it. I absolutely called it. I'm a genius. Remember, guys, if you're as intelligent as me and a legend, remember to always be humble. Be legendarily humble about how amazing you are. I said at the beginning of the game, and I will I'll clip it and post it up. For me, the only way the North won is if they create satellite bases around their main base that do small amounts of spam. So 10 jugs here, 20 here, and 20 here makes 50 in total, and that will move the dial for the South. And that's what they've done. The South, however, have created a very large base in comparison. You know, both teams have been on the map at the same time. This is pretty big, and it will work for you if you can keep it alive. But do you keep it alive? You know, here we have the bugs just rampaging down the map. Gun turrets will do nothing to them now. You know, a window has been opened from the North to get the aggression onto the South. There are 9,000 bugs at 60%. I am very, very humble. And remember, guys, not everybody can be as legendary as me, but we can all try our best. And I think that's the key here. As long as you're trying your best. But yeah, we see now just, okay, Sherbal with a flamethrower. Now this will absolutely repel the bugs. If Sherbal can stay alive, that's a great adaptation. So on death's door, meters away from the main base, like literally meters away from the main objective that you must keep alive, the South have found an answer. They found an answer in fire. Now, again, they need to make sure that they can keep this base alive. Because if they can't make it to the right areas and they can't defend at the right time, they'll just lose everything. And here we go. all of this melting that was up literally a minute ago is just being melted down. They're putting the melting in smelting. Oh, why has it been 3 years and I've only just come up with that joke? Wait, that works, right? Wait. Let me just spell it out. Smelting, melting. That's right? Yeah, hey, let's go. I'm leaving. I'll get my coat. That's devastation. That's so much lost as well. Remember, each of these buildings will hold items, and when the building dies, you lose those items. So all of the plates that are sat inside, ooh, just a wave, just hanging out, just chilling, just waiting for the homies, you know. Oh my god, I can't believe it's taken me 3 years to figure out that I could rhyme melting and smelt. Oh my god. Okay, maybe I'm not as legendary as I think. Maybe I am just washed. So yeah, so the South have every opportunity. They have a larger scale. So obviously their base is quite big. They can research a lot faster with all of these labs. And I believe if I check the research tree, they should, in theory, be ahead in research. So the North have nothing going for them. They don't want to go into tech. They want to just defend their base with a relatively big wall. And they think that this is it. It's military spam until they die. And you know what? At 64% in the opening 20 minutes of the game, they've done a lot here. If the South can survive this, though, they will go deeper into the game. So military science is great. It's working for the North, and it will kill the South off if the South aren't reactive to the threat at hand. I believe those flamethrowers are huge, massive. You know, these stone furnace walls will break up the horde of bugs and effectively just, you know, cover them in DPSing fire, hoping that you can keep most of your player base alive. Throw a couple of bodies in the way. Some of you may die, but that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. I'm sure is what the South captain is saying to his team right now. But they're repelling the bugs. They're keeping them at bay. And yes, this is not the wall that you want, but this is the wall that you've got. So this is the wall you have to defend. And as you can see here, the bugs can't get through. Yeah, no, you're right. South looks like they can now. Again, it's all ifs. It's all maybes. It's all could. But they can survive if they want to. They just need to be active at all times now. So yes, push the main base into the tech tree. Yes, keep expanding the wall and make this as thick as possible, and hope that, you know, your poison capsules are not far away. This base hopefully can kind of slowly grind out things that you need, you know, as a supplementary kind of support base. But this is not the kind of pressure you want to be dealing with this early in the game, because the tools you have to deal with this are small, they're weak, and the flame ammo, I'm not sure how fast it produces, but if there were like 20 times this amount of bugs coming in, yeah, you'd need a lot more than this. So I like the way that they've survived. I'm glad I'm not calling GG on a game in the first 20 minutes. Where it goes from here, I do not know. I genuinely do not know. I'm not entirely sure what the North have to do, because if this is it, and you're settling on science, just pushing the South, do they have any plans to go deeper than this? Nothing is automated other than this spam. Imagine a big train stall. Ah, you're alluding to the new unit that I've created called the Locos. So for any of you that missed last week's stream, which I'm sure a few of you did, I am currently bug testing, no pun intended, theory crafting a way of defending that would have us utilize two underused pieces of technology that are quite cheap and easy to make. The unit is called the Locos, and if you want to learn more about that, expect a post in Discord in a couple of days' time. I need to crunch the numbers. I don't want to waste anybody's time, so I don't want to create a unit that is useless. Well, that'd be a very ghosty thing to do. But yeah, I'm currently kind of I'm running the numbers on it and trying to find out if it's working. I think it can, and I think you need about 4 people in total to make it work. And if you can make that happen, if you can grab those 4 people and employ my strategy correctly, oh god, look at this, just pure devastation, isn't it? And I believe you can gain an advantage, because there are things that I've forgotten. That's a great question, RDD. Nothing. So big bugs die. I don't know about bosses. Behemoths are the only sized bugs that will stop a train at full speed. Even at slow speed, it will just stop. However, I believe, and you know what, in between games, guys, there are 2 games today. In between games, let me just leak. I'm not leaking, because it's my plan. Let me just show you a little bit of my workings out, because I believe you'll need a train driver, then a couple of members of an elite squad called the Locos, And then you'll need a level of speed refueling that I don't think we've seen in the game, because we can't stop our train, right? So we need a way to get it up to speed. We need our guys to be able to jump off and deal massive amounts of damage, and we need them to have the ability to jump back on and hit a refueling and a reloading station. So we're basically paratrooping people in with trains. Now, that might seem insane, and I'm sure, you know, to people that have played this game a long time will go, that doesn't work. There's no way. I think I can make it work. And I don't think we need a large area of the map to do it in. I think that you could sit a level of train saw in this area, a smaller sloop. Yeah, buddy, sloops. Yeah, you're absolutely thinking on the right tracks here. No pun intended. I'm so full of puns. I didn't mean to, but you're thinking along the right lines here. Each role, each person involved in the team has multiple roles, and refueling and keeping. So the train needs to keep running, right? It needs to keep going. South has bigs, I know. And you know what? 73%, they're not far from behemoths. If the North keep the pressure up. Now, again, they're not going much beyond military science right now. So, yeah, darkenade's done well. The threat is at 5,000 for the North compared to the 7,000 on the South, but only 50% bugs, 70s to the South. So, yeah, there is a discrepancy. You know, once they evolve, they can then get even bigger and stronger through that deeper number. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Like, I wonder, I really do wonder what the North's play here is, because do we have any ambition to research? Oh, now we do. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the research tree. We saw a couple minutes ago they didn't have anything in the lines. Okay, so the North want to go Flame Towers, Logi 2, the car, interesting, and then lab research. Okay. I don't hate that. I don't mind it. It's a little bit late. I mean, there was a 2 or 3 window where they could have been researching some of that, but I guess they would just had a timing issue. Another player goes down on the South. They are dropping, but they're managing to rebound, which is good. That's one thing you need to do. If you're in a game like this and you keep dropping, you need to bounce back up. And as you can see here now, guys, which is new to the game, these big green health bar bugs are bosses. And you heard me right. If you've never seen this game mode before, we have boss bugs of each denomination. Here we have a medium boss and a big boss. And later on, when the evolution hits 90% and above, we'll have behemoth bosses. And you know what, guys? Behemoths absolutely end this game. I would struggle to see a way forward for either team if we hit 90% on either side. It's still early into the game, at 31 minutes in, but genuinely speaking, if they manage to, for some strange reason, pull that off before collapsing, either side crumbles. I like the fact that they're sticking down actual walls now. I did mention earlier on in my kind of build up to the game that there were a couple of like nice little patches out here. Also out here, stone patches that you might be able to build walls out of if you had somebody willing to do that. And here we go, the bosses are still alive. Look at this guy just tanking. Carl's just like, this is like something out of a horror film, you know? You know, just shotgunning this absolute behemoth down. The waves keep coming. No more small bugs exist. They've evolved out of existence. It's now bigs and mediums, and soon it will be only bigs and some behemoths. South have completed some much needed shooting technology. So weapon shooting speed has gone up. I don't know if that impacts the flamethrower. That's actually a really good question. I don't know. Does anybody of you out there know if the flamethrower is affected by those researches? I guess we'll see. But we have 3 bosses here now rapidly approaching the edge and the outer edge of South space. In North, I can't really focus too heavily on right now, but I will check in a second. Team effort, I guess. 3 bosses require 4 players. And remember, guys, in a team of 21, that's 4 players that aren't building, repairing, or progressing your team. So Zero Sun goes down on the front line. Oh no, the bugs have made it in. With stone all over the ground and bugs all around, these furnaces drop. The outpost is under threat. With the boss just chasing down is that MCG Man? McG Man. What a name. Damn, this is it's not the end of the world, but the next wave coming. The thing that I always say, that's a great question, Ichani, and you're correct. The play here, so I think I've got time to do this, so let me just do this real quick. In olden days, in olden games, and in a previous meta, which I believe still exists to a point, the way that you win this game, that is a very good question. I believe the boss still has the ability to revive. Okay, that's not the line I want. Give me a second, guys. I just need to make sure I get the right tool. There we go, perfect. Right. So in the olden days, back when I used to play, the way that you would defend your base is you'd have a large defensive structure. So imagine this this yellow line being like a wall. So this would be a really thick line of walls, and then behind it we'd have flamer towers. And the reason we'd have flamer towers is that you'd sit them on the edge of the base. As you can tell, obviously, no expense spared in terms of the production value here. They would spit out fire at the edge of your base, effectively creating kill zones that you could run bugs into. So everything inside the box is safe, everything outside the box dies. And if you have that all over your base, you have a level of perimeter defense that you can then rely on. And all you need is players to effectively run up to the edge of this wall, repair it, and obviously, you know, put more flamer turrets down once you have more. So even at the beginning of the game, and I say this often, but we don't see it happen often, I would love to see, and again, I think it's part of a meta that's slightly gone out of existence, people building walls, because you're going to need them. In the north, we see them here. Look, they're putting a physical wall down that will last longer. Over time, they can thicken this to be like 4 or 5 deep, and then behind that, put their defenses. What that means is your defenses are safe whilst they can hit the bugs, and the bugs can only attack the wall. And as we know, walls are really cheap to replace. Flame towers, not so much. So yeah, in an ideal world, you'd hope that somewhere, and I don't know if either team are going to go there, but they should really at this point in the game. We are assuming that, okay, so a car for the north is being researched. Military 3, which is obviously poison capsules and slowdown capsules. So the south are moving towards a more defensive posture. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to go for blue though. I mean, are we just going to see a slow ramping up? Let's take a quick 30,000 foot view. I'm just going to take a quick drink from my flask, and then we'll do a bit of a debrief. What we've seen so far, and what can we expect from the next 20-30 minutes. Perfect. Right. In the north, they have some really clear and obviously dedicated people threat farming. As you can see here, darkenade has that wall down, is repairing it in the holes that are created, and this acts as an alarm system. The wall doesn't cover the entirety of the front line, but just enough that when bugs hit this front line, darkenade can react. No, you're correct. You are correct. The one thing that I think, Ichan, that both sides are missing, and sorry if I'm butchering your name, I've realised I've been calling usernames out terribly recently, is I don't think the north or the south have built the production line for that tech. So normally what you'd see, this is very standard, you know, red-green, moving on to military signs somewhere else, and blue, and then typically on the edge of blue you'd have some flamer turrets being made, because you have the steel and the engines and all the components that you'd need for flamer turrets. And it seems like it's taken a while for both north and the south to get there. In fact, the north they're not even troubling themselves with it. They're just, yeah, they're getting their flamer ammo down. You'd hope, in fact, you know what, the north have boxed themselves in. I like this box. Any bigger and you're kind of doing yourself a disservice, to be honest. Like power you can build just outside. In fact, you could build a power block over here, that's fine. But I like the fact that that's really boxed in. Darkenade is you know, if Darkenade wins this game, if the North win this, I'm not saying it's a one-person effort, but as far as I'm aware, they're the only person that's been up here threat farming. Maybe Cog has just joined recently, but that is one hell of an effort. And again, the captain of North is Darkenade, so take a bow if you win this game, because holy crap, that's an incredible player. Ah, the MMO speedrun. Oh, do you mean the Kobe's? Oh, dude, we hold the record. Yeah, buddy. If you mean Kobe's, you know, the one that the Spiffing Brit did, we got the record. We are world record holders, I believe, for the fastest multiplayer. And yes, you are correct. So yeah, it's the oil infrastructure I don't think they've gone too heavily into. But again, they have time. What I wonder now for the North is, like, how are they making the most of this downtime? Are they just expanding their military science, or are they going to go deeper? But no, you're right, Sloop. Ultimately, a lot of the best players of Factorio are here. And I don't mean to say that as we're so great or whatever, but we attract a very certain type of player, and they're the kind of people that like competitive games. If you let me send you something real quick. This is a a resource which many people don't have. And please, I would never post a malicious link, so please trust this link. This is our stats page. You can look up people in the current game. You can look up historical games. Every player has an MMR, has a ranking, and you can basically, and this is how the teams are picked, by the way. If any of you hasn't figured this out already or doesn't know, the reason certain players get picked is because of their MMR increase or their score in certain elements of the game make them a Moneyball-esque pick for their team. So the reason why Jimmy50 is picked first is because overall, if you look at his stats, he is arguably the most efficient pick to make as a player if you have first pick. Now, that used to be me. I used to be the first pick, or I was a captain making the first pick. But that link that I've posted there is effectively our stats page. We have one for captain's games, and we have one that's for our normal games. But if you as a player start playing this game mode, even during the week through our normal games, you will build up an MMR, a score, or an ELO, or whichever phrase you want to call it, and that would be your my chess. Oh my god, don't even get me started on chess, mate. I am bad at that game. So yeah, it's also how you can decide who is the better pick. So if you have, for instance, Cognitive Fun or Darkenade, and you have the option to pick either of those players on your team, you can kind of look at the numbers and go, what player do I want? What do they do? And how would I use them if I pick them? And what I love about this is the Discord, which many of you have, but if you don't have the Discord, I might as well, since I'm posting links, I'll post a link to the Discord in here too. Invite to server, copy. This is our Discord server. When you jump in, oh, don't worry, dude, I'm doing, that is my next thing for this, but great shout, RJD. I'm going to start adding in interactable links. So I'm making a video series about different levels of threat farming, so that'll be a link, as well as the Discord. But that area, that little Discord that we have, voice channels galore. When you jump into a team like this, you'll be talking to people. You might not necessarily need to have long conversations with them. Oh, poison grenades, this is huge for the South. That is huge for the South. I don't know, dude. We've had slowly been increasing in numbers. We're seeing new people all the time joining. Not just because of the stream, but I think people are just finding, Weekend Factorio, competitive Weekend Factorio, quite entertaining. So, yeah, by the way, guys, if you think watching the game is fun, playing it is incredibly rewarding. Every player's here, heart rate is going to be spiking. Menander is going to be, this is not I say fun. Fun is obviously subjective. The pressure that you'll have to go through to stay on it, it's like driving a Formula 1 car. You can't stop thinking. You need to always be on your tools as best you can, thinking as best you can, as fast as you can. This is not a lazy man's game mode. If you want to join and do something simple, you could argue there are 1 or 2 roles that you could fulfill, but to play in these really high level games like we're seeing today, where pressure is on from the moment the game starts, this is this is very, very tough to play, and so it's really rewarding when you win these games. How steep is the learning curve? That's a great question, Sensei. Oh, Sensas. Sorry, guys, I'm terrible with usernames, by the way. Apologies, but welcome in. The learning curve, to begin with, is very easy. I take it upon myself when I'm in the game, when I'm playing. I kind of grab new players and I like to kind of show them the ropes a little bit. Because there is a game mode for everyone. There is a role for everyone. If you want to, let's say for instance you spawn in, and the reason I can explain now is we've got a little bit of a lull before the next stage of the game kicks in, before we get to the end game where, yeah, the bugs are massive. Let's say for instance, my name's Ghosty and I land right in the middle here. I've been picked onto the south. And I'm in my Discord and everybody's talking about I'll be an outpost or I'll be a threat farm or I'm going to play main base, blah, 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 blah. And I'm confused. I like Factorio. I know what I'm doing. I can build buildings. I can build, smelting stacks, and I know what to do with belts. But I'm a little bit lost. The number one thing, always, guys, the community is amazing. Ask questions. Just ask questions, because people like me are more than happy to explain, more than happy to help. And a lot of the time we'll join you in doing the thing that we ask. But let's say, for instance, I'm a brand new player and I'm here and I just want to help my team. What can I do? Number one thing, I love seeing this. Always do this if you want. Again, ask your captain first, because your captain might not need you to do this, but I think if you offer, a lot of the time they'll say yes. Grab a gun, build a gun, grab some magazines, fish a couple of fish out the ocean, because these are your healing items. Put fish on your hotbar, so come down here. Oh, it's been so long. I also like to do grenades on my hotbar as well, by the way, but that's a separate issue entirely, because I like to know how many I've got rather than just throwing with impunity. Come down here, chuck fish on your hotbar, that's number 1. Press 1 and right click and you'll heal, and run towards the bugs and shoot them. Believe it or not, without going into too much detail, you'll need to do that all the way through the game. So that is something you can do straight away. Shoot the bugs. Purple, oh dear. Where did that come from? Shut the front door. Okay, that I did not. What? Purple. Oh my days. The South have managed. And they're what, like 5%? If that. They're 4% away from behemoths. And the South have gone, no, you. Oh my god. How have they done this? That's incredible. That not only we're at 45 minutes into a game, where for about 35 minutes of the game, everything has been on fire. All it takes is for me to just scan around the map and you just see waves of bugs. Absolute devastation across the board. Rockets you may see in tomorrow's game. We have 2 games on tonight, which are the hard difficulty on both. And I believe tomorrow's game mode, potentially we may see rockets. I think we're on ITYTD, I might be wrong. I'll check between games. Oh, piece of cake. It might be piece of cake actually. But we may see rockets tomorrow. However, this game, oh, these are all big, and they're really close to purple. And if the South lose any of this purple now, that's devastating. Do they have an answer for this? Do they see this? The North haven't gotten any. Oh my god, this is frightening for the North. They've set their defences up, but I don't think they can absorb, like, a lot of pressure. 68%, that's a lot, but when they get to behemoths, that's far too much. And again, a side swipe next to the most crucial part of the base. Oh, this is terrifying. Again, everybody needs to come here. Everybody needs to defend this. The beating heart of your win, if you are to win on the South, are these buildings being fed by these lines. I would throw half of my team in the way. I would throw half of my team in the way of that. And again, you know, the waves keep coming. The South have almost gotten to the behemoth level. Again, behemoths are a completely different level of defense. This is pressure for Neuro. It's not impossible, but it's frightening. It will get worse once they evolve, and we're only 2% away from that. Meanwhile, on the North, they're at 70%, which is nothing to sniff at. The Northern defenses are absolutely in tatters at the moment. They're in tatters. The base lives on, with grenades being built. Darkenade is up here staring at an impossible problem. When these bugs get to about 80-85%, the car will eventually die to the speed of the bugs. And I worry now the North might have thrown all of their eggs into one basket. And are they progressing? Is there progression? Or are the North now looking at this going, nah, it's been military from the minute we started, and it will be military till the end of the game. Whether we win or lose, we're in with Milsci. And they're 0.5%. They have no ambition to go to blue, no ambition to go to purple whatsoever. They are doubling 90%, 40. By the way, guys, at 47 minutes in to a game of bite battles where it's 20 on 20, around about 20 players on either side, to get to purple signs in 40 minutes is horrible, especially because they've been in an arm wrestle with the bugs from the minute go. The fact that even if the South lose, by the way, the fact they've managed to get this, the sheer tenacity they've had to show to get to this position is remarkable, because you don't get this off. 9 times out of 10, you are on fire, defending for your silo's life before you even dream of this. And Jimmy at the moment, he's just grabbing everything he can to throw at the bugs, just try and pressure North a little bit more. Let's see if we can find our first behemoth. Here we go. Maybe not the first one on the map, but the first one that we've seen together on stream. The behemoths are here. They're big, and they're really, really hard to kill. Not impossible, but it starts at 90%. And if the South can continue to get thrown military signs, that will grow to 91%, 94%, 90%. They're only going to get bigger from here. And soon, the big bugs will phase themselves out, and we'll only have behemoths on the pitch. Now again, they do die. But a wave of behemoths is not what you want to be dealing with, especially as you've just hit your win condition on the South. If, and again it's a big if the South can make this happen, pump out lots of purple, they have a chance to counterpunch. Because I believe the bugs they're being dealt with on the north. 75% is around about, it's something you can deal with, but I don't know, dude. Like, are the north ready for this? There's like pressure building and building and building up here. And I wonder, like, okay, have they abandoned this? I guess they're not coming back to this defensive outpost. And if that's the case, where are we going? Okay, an outer wall is being made. They have any flame turrets at all? Are they researching flamers? They should be. They really should be at this point. I mean, it's here. Both teams have access to it. Damn, people are dropping like flies on the south. Oh, that's north. Oh, damn, that's a lot of pressure as well. And there's the call from Cognitive. We need more people on defense. The north are starting to feel the pressure and waves are starting to build. Bosses are starting to crumble their infrastructure and they're losing their flamer outpost. The north can't absorb this. All they can do is weather the storm. They cannot absorb it and kill it off. If any wave makes it towards the base, they have nothing to repel it, by the way. Inside this box is safety for now, sanctuary for now. Meanwhile, it's a war zone out there on south. Look at the difference. Look how neat and tidy this is. This is really well organized. And on the south, it's just like, nah, dude, we don't have time. Just throw it down, put something in the way. Put a speed bump in the way. No, 6 people is just not enough. And I worry now for the north because they're getting hit hard here. And I just wonder if it's just a little bit too late. If they did so much offense, they attacked so much that I don't think they've defended as much as they maybe could. For now, you could potentially have some flame towers back here. And the way that you defeat large waves of enemies is you have, these kind of kill zones where multiple flame towers are spamming your bugs, killing them off in over time through DPS. A wave like this would die within 3 or 4 seconds being hit by a flame tower. And that's before you upgrade the flamers. Obviously, you can upgrade damage and stuff. The south have stabilized, dude. They're dealing with 92.8% bugs, and they are stable. Multiple people at the moment just running around, taking the aggro. Basically being a magnet for all of the bugs that would be running down the map. And saying, nah, dude, follow my car. Kill me now. just dragging as much of the aggression as they can behind their car. Again, if Zero Sun dies here, that's not great. But what they're doing is they're just grabbing as much of that aggression and focus of the bugs and just stopping them from kind of walking down the map. And if everybody does a little piece of that, then we just reduce the pressure on the map by a tiny amount each time. And they stabilize. This is kind of a good... This is a much better game than I thought we'd see. I thought that once the south started getting spammed, it was just a slow burn. They were just going to die, and here we are. Meanwhile, the thing that's on fire at the moment is the north. And it's at 78%. So, the north have an easier time of it. In comparison, they're not dealing with behemoths. Most of the bugs they're dealing with are bigs. Some medium still will be on the map. Although Carl does go down... I can't imagine there's a lot of pressure on. The front line is literally just that. How spread out is this, by the way? It's just so chaotic. They don't have a chance to organize, Waves like this. If you see more green than any other color, you're in trouble. And again, what great play, by the way. Like maneuvering a car through I know that the newer cars are easy to maneuver, but like that forest is a kill zone for you. Like if you drive a car into that and bump into a tree, or like here, for instance, bump into a bug, you're just dead meat, mate. You don't survive this. Cobra's done well there. He's managed to group up some bugs and put some slowdown on them, but yeah, dude. I think this is the north. That's good. That was good driving. I'm glad I zoomed into that. I might need to clip that for him and say, hey, mate, well done. That was that was really nice. Do we have power problems on the south? Not yet, but we're not really fully feeding it coal. I worry about this. Like, surely your base... I mean, it's not a huge base, but... And are we moving towards flamer turrets at all? Nobody's producing. Again, the reason why we're not seeing flamer turrets go down is the captain has probably said, no, we don't want to do that. That's not efficient for us. We're sticking to military science, and that is our game mode. That is what we do if we want to win. Respawn is about 5, I think, seconds. I might be wrong. It's been a while since I've respawned. I tend not to die because I'm kind of a legend. It's about 5 seconds, I believe. Which is more than enough. And again, you always start at the very back of the map. So when you die, you start back here. So, if you die all the way out here with all of your items, you have to somehow get here. survive all of these bugs and pick up your body. So yeah, it's kind of nightmare mode, dude. This is super uncomfortable for the north, and the waves begin to build up and crash in. I think we've witnessed a comeback of sorts. Like, you know, unfortunately, if the south just had hit this purple timing maybe 10 minutes sooner, it's all speculation. It's all maybes. You know, we'll see in game 2. I believe game 1 and 2 will be good, but I think game 2 is going to be a really ruthless game. The captains involved will not mess about, and I don't think we're going to see, you know, breaks in research. I don't think we're going to see breaks in builds. We're going to see just, it'll start, and then a gun will go off, and basically it'll just be a slugging match until the end of the match. Waves are making it in, but they're not penetrating too far in. You know, breaking down a couple of segments of wall is the least of your worries on the south right now. And if I take a look at who's been sending what, 500 jugs of purple is nothing to sniff at. From the south to the north are 5 or 4.5% away from their own behemoths. Are they under pressure outside of the map? I mean, it's just chaotic. Yes. Yeah, do you not know? The north are actually a lot. Yeah, it's a free teleport. It's a free naked teleport where all your items stay where they are and you go home. This could be a photo finish. This genuinely could be a photo finish. 87 to 95. You know, we've got people on the front line kiting, so a lot of the threat on the south is being juggled at the moment. It's not necessarily being dealt with. You know, they're not killing off large amounts of these bugs, but they're just keeping them here. You know, they're biding their time, and they're just hopefully not running into anything and just, you know, keeping themselves alive. So this is good work this is a team of threat farmers. This is very well coordinated. I think the Cobra managed to get his body back, who died out here earlier on. Biding the biters, yeah. The north, however, are absolutely flooded with pain and pressure right now. 88.2%, we're only 2% away from the bug's evolutionary step into their final form. If you thought the blue ones were a pain in the arse, just wait until they turn green, because they are frightening to deal with when they hit green. But as you can see, these outposts, these satellite bases around main base, they're just getting chewed up and spat out. And I wonder, you know, like the timing of the south hitting that purple was almost perfect for them. You know, horrible for the north, perfect for them. The north do have a clustered defensive effort here. Like once everybody dies out here on the edge of the map, every single player will be in this tiny box. So if you can build enough poison capsules, if you can keep people alive long enough, you could potentially... Oh, furnace, yeah. You don't want to be using pipes. Pipes are literally I have nothing else to put down. They're easily munched by the bugs. But if you have nothing else, unfortunately, pipes will have to do. And yeah, this is what you'd want to see on the north. You know, group up the bugs, slow them down to a walking speed, and then throw a poison capsule down. And just over time, the bugs sitting in this poison cloud will slowly walk themselves to death. And this is how you kill these huge waves off. It takes time. You know, I've been here for a good 15-20 seconds. You know, the bugs on their last legs are just about frying in this poison cloud. But yeah, dude, look at this. You know, where did the north go from here? 90%, we're there. We made it. God, I did not think we'd get this deep into the game. I thought on hard difficulty, like purple signs is it. This could be the end of the north. All it takes now, I mean, what do we think? Is this about who wins? Because the south are managing the pressure a lot better than the north. Could this just be a case of who loses slower? Because the north are only 7% away from the south in terms of weakness of the bugs, or strength of the bugs. People are still dying on both sides, but yeah, the south is just kiting out. You know, they're just far away from their base, kiting waves away. Meanwhile, on the north, the behemoths have yet to appear. You know, they've yet to slam into any infrastructure, and when those behemoths arrive, we are dealing with a problem. Large problem. And again, where are we going with this? It's got to be game, surely. They have, yeah. They've lost 2 people. Not necessarily game ending, but if those 2 people were your, defensive builders, or you need to kind of reorganize your team in such a way that you make up for those missing individuals. Now, because it's a double header today, I think we're going to have full teams on both sides. And I'm glad that because we have a doubleheader, we don't have those longer game modes on. But I just think North are going to crumble, right? It would take something extraordinary for the South to lose from here. And when I say that, what I mean is like a random wave just getting to like here, for instance, and then just eating the power block. Like, I don't really see the South losing from here unless they either make a mistake or the North somehow, and I'm talking a lot of ifs and buts here, but somehow managed to weather the storm. Now, darkenade, like he's a loco. Yeah, darkenade is a loco. He's figured it out. This is the tech I was talking about earlier on that we don't see too often. I'll go into more detail down the line, but that's a niche skill that you don't see that often. Rarely do you see that being employed. Jumping out my car, shooting my flamethrower, and jumping back into the car as it moves. Yeah, dude, you love to see it. Okay, so bosses are spawning on the south. Again, they just keep sending military signs. That has been the state of the game for the entirety of the game. 17,000 jugs from the north to the south, and 1 green, 10 red, obviously. Keep getting thrown. Meanwhile, we're almost at the 1,000 mark from the purple signs being sent from the south to the north. This is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. We're not seeing the bugs permeate too deep into the defenses of the south, so they're being held in this kind of holding area just outside the base, which is what you want to see. Meanwhile, on the north, it's just a battle of kiting, isn't it? They're just looping as much as they can, but they're not. Every time they're looping, it feels like they're getting closer to their own base. And here we go, the first of many bugs to appear at the wall of the north. He's not even behemoth. Like, he's not even behemoth. If I had my time in the server, if I was on the north, I would have certainly reinforced this wall. I would have reinforced this massively. I would have asked for flame turrets to go down, because you absolutely can survive a game with behemoths on your side, or against you, sorry, but on your map, with a flame tower down. And with the hope that down the line you can build up some laser towers over time. And this is just the difference. Like, the south are just sprawling out their defenses. This has been a mammoth task from them, honestly, mammoth task. And fair play to the guys that kept building. It would have been very, very tempting to the people that built out and went beyond, your kind of military green-red spam to say, hey, I'm building purple, just keep me alive, you know? You go over here and die 30 times whilst I do this, and if you can stop them from getting to me, then we win. You know, good luck. is basically the conversation I'm having with my threat farmers. Like, guys, put your body on the line, sacrifice yourself to them, slow them down, and I will win us the game. And just imagine being that player, making a slight mistake, a slight miscalculation, not putting a certain, inserter down, or not getting the right amount of undergrounds, and being slow here, and then your team just ends up getting flattened. Terrifying. So we're in a weird stalemate. Oh, there is a who died the most at the end of the game. In fact, I'll call them out because the number's going to be huge. If it would surprise me if today's who died the most isn't in the 50 to 60 region, 50 odd deaths, which is nuts. We've only been playing for like an hour, and that would be like a death a minute. But yeah, it's weird because we're kind of stable at the moment. We're not. We're stabilizing chaos. So this is what you want to be doing. This is the perfect way of defeating these bugs. Slowing them down. This is about 3 waves worth of bugs. Getting in a car, chucking a load of poison capsules on the ground, and keeping their focus on you. Every bug that's here is one that is not at your front door. So the longer you can do this, and again, it's hard to do, the better chances you're giving your side at winning. Neuro, obviously, is the absolute pinnacle of this at the moment, although he's going to die in his own poison cloud. By the way, I need to give Neuro a shout out. This guy is the server owner. The reason we are here is because of a very dead Frenchman on the ground in his own poison cloud. But Neuro is the granddaddy of this server. So if you see him online, say hi to him and just give him a bit of a thanks, mate. Thank you for being here, because nobody's paid. Everybody here is volunteer. So the admin team, the balance team, people programming these really cool, bars, these cool graphs that we get, and the stats readouts, if I can say my words correctly, all done by volunteers, and we love them for it, and we massively appreciate them for that. Oh damn. Yeah. Well, maybe we do. We could try and do like a fundraiser. Oh, I know what we do. How about we get the best team possible? You know, the best players in our server, and we feed them against the nightmare AI. How about that? I think we do that as a fundraiser. You know, all money raised on Twitch and on YouTube and all that jazz, we just give it to the server, and we say, look, donations will go directly to funding this. I think that's a good idea. Not because I've had it, I just think we should do it anyway. Because I'd hate for Biter Battles to disappear because we needed 50 euros. You know, like if everybody put €1 in, we keep the server up for another year. I don't know how much it costs to keep everything going, so I might be talking in minor terms here compared to large ones, but I believe that we could do, if we wanted to, a bit of a fundraiser, you know, and maybe even fund an even faster server. But I think that's a conversation for a future game, or maybe we talk about that in the. I'd be more than happy to. Honestly, I know that you guys think I don't make a lot of money off doing this. I do it for the love of doing it, for the fun of doing it. And if I'm being honest, I'd be here anyway, playing the game. I'd be in the server, kicking some ass. So yeah, more than happy to. Remember, we have done money tournaments before where we've had people come in and play for Bitcoin and play for Ethereum, as well as like, I think the biggest prize pool we had was like $1,000. So if we did a reverse of that, you know, if we tried to do like a fundraiser where, I don't know, we'd have to come up with a scenario, you know, us versus the community. Oh, I know what we could do. On Twitch, you can donate science. How cool would that be? So like a $1 donation, and again, not to me, I'm not saying to my Twitch, but let's say like a $1 donation gets you 1,000 purple science. And then in the middle of a game, chat sends. That would be kind of cool. I don't know how we'd make that happen, but that would be kind of interesting to see. Like, chat controls the game, so everybody plays. Nobody on either side gets to send, and then you, the viewer, goes, "Hey man, I want North to win, so I'm going to send like 100 red signs." And not that there'd need to be a monetary, you know, alignment to it, but just, you know, you could pay for like $1 or something, and that gets you some space signs. That at the 50-minute mark, you can chuck 100 space signs at a team, and then watch it implode. But no, it's definitely a conversation worth having, for sure. And it's something that I think we need to think about going forward as well. Obviously, money's tight for everyone. The one thing I would say is don't donate if you can't afford to. You know, it's come here, watch for free. I never ask for subscriptions. I massively I can tell my voice is going because I can barely speak. I massively appreciate anybody that does decide to subscribe or to follow or to, you know, to like and all that jazz. It's great. But I do this for free. The South. Ooh, okay. This, however, is uncomfortably close to the silo. They are a stone throw away. Chat sense sound terrible. I think they would. I think that somebody would just donate $100 and be like, yeah, 10 million science, deal with it. In the opening. But we've raised $100, right? So, oh damn, my voice is gone. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I might need a very soothing beer to calm my voice. I think that would be, but in the interest of raising money, why not make it as chaotic as possible? So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to in between games, let's see if we can come up with some ideas. Again, it needs to be silly. I think the sillier the better. So whether we give certain items or we set up a scenario, yeah, I think we can do it. Meanwhile, on the south, it seems like they've abandoned this outpost entirely. Purple continues to rain in. And at 102... oh, damn, look at that. 102 to 102. The game is basically even on both sides. And the north are in for a world of pain. Damn, these waves are careening in. The base itself is beginning to get attacked as well, with bugs inside the walls. Damn, I missed this. Okay, so the north are collapsing. The north are absolutely melting, and I believe this is it. The south are under some pressure. Some bugs are within the walls, within the perimeter, but not like this. Have chat ever not been trolls? Like, I'm here for it. As long as it doesn't become aggressive. Like, the last thing I'd want to do is have to ban people for start arguing and it getting, like, too much. Obviously, I'd rather people take the piss out of me, if I'm being honest. But if it ever became toxic, I'd have to shut it down. But I'd love to see what silliness we could endure as a community for the sake of raising money for the server, you know. Yeah, dude, the north have been breached. Bugs are inside the inner perimeter and very close, if not dangerously close. Gaps in the walls have appeared. They've just driven a nail straight through the heart of the northern map and in and around all of the buildings that are currently creating some pressure for the south. For the south, north crumbles. Yeah, absolutely, Sensei. I can explain that to you right now. The game mode starts us off with only the most basic items and no research. We are split into two teams, so the south are on one side of the river and the north are on the other. And the goal of the game in this game mode is to keep your rocket silo alive. So the north have a silo, as well as the south, and this is our throne. This is our main building. If this dies, and again, these bugs are more than able and capable of killing off this rocket silo, your team loses. So the goal of the game is to play for as long as you can, to keep the bugs away for as long as you can, and to kind of stop them from evolving to become stupid strong like they are right now. This is GG. I can't imagine the north survive for much longer here. Like, these green-shelled bugs are the strongest that they get, and at the moment they are one-tapping walls, they're one-tapping people. As you can see here now, flame damage is going on top of them, they're not dying, and they are an inch away from the main objective. This rocket silo needs to stay alive for the north to stay in the game. I'll explain a little bit more outside once this game is over, and believe me, this game is not going to be on for much longer. With bugs this close, you can only imagine that a wave back here, or even a wave crashing in like here, will eventually make it to the final area, the final silo. Yeah, we'll go into a bit more detail. There is a second game on today as well. So all of the early game and the mid game concepts, I'll go through them again. We're on for a double header today, and I may need to grab a soothing throat lozenge or a beer or something in between, because I'm starting to feel a little croaky. But yeah, the northern base is basically non-existent now. It's a speed bump for the bugs. The silo is yet to take any damage though. And again, all of that northern team are compressed into this one area, so maybe they can keep themselves alive. But my question is, the south, you know, are they under any pressure, any threat? And the answer is no. Nothing's coming in. I would more than happily swallow. Oh, I've got some ice cream. Perfect. I'm going to go get some ice cream at halftime. So between games 1 and 2, let me just get something to because the last thing you want me to do is be coughing and stuff. That's horrible. No one wants to hear that. So, but yeah, it's been a good game. It's been a really good game. I kind of thought the North had this one. Film it and monetize it. Absolutely not. Nobody wants to see that. Absolutely not. The final wave of bugs rains itself down from the north towards the silo itself. As it begins to take some damage, the health bar slowly crawls down to 0, and I think that has been one chaotic but great game from both sides. Well played to the south for getting their purple build up. 43 minutes for their first purple jug is ridiculously quick. So yeah, GG.